There's this moment in the Wicked movie score that I can't stop thinking about that is different than the original stage production, and it's in the middle of Popular. It happens when Galinda sits Elphaba down and is going, "Look at you, you're beautiful," and they're looking in the mirror, and this musical thing happens. So in the original stage production, it's just kind of like orchestral fill there, it's very quick, but because the movie gave us so much more time and these intimate moments, we have more interesting musical things happening. So just listen to this one part, especially listening for like the first 2 notes, honestly.
Why, Miss Elphaba? Look at you.
So there are 2 things happening in the orchestration there. The first is you can kind of hear it like there's this like gentle, just like strings behind them talking, and it turns into For Good. So For Good is a very important song that happens in the 2nd act, and it basically sums up Elphaba and Glinda's entire friendship relationship. But the first like 2 notes in that snippet I played reminded me immediately of a different song in the 1st act. So let's see if you can figure it out. This is in a different key, but this is the key that I have the sheet music in, so. So what song is that? That is I'm Not That Girl. So in the movie, it doesn't start the same way with this sort of, but we do have that suspension that gets resolved. And it's really that suspension that I was hearing at the beginning of that. And those little arpeggios in the middle that like morph into For Good. So then if it is I'm Not That Girl, usually the first thing I think of when I hear a song referenced is I think of like the first words. So the first words in this song are hands touch, eyes meet, sudden silence, sudden heat. And what's actually happening at that moment when I think it's being referenced in Popular is that Elphaba and Galinda are looking in the mirror at each other, so eyes are meeting, and Galinda kind of like has her head on Elphaba's shoulder. So they're like, hands are kind of touching and their eyes are meeting, and there's a sudden silence, sudden heat. So having just like a little reference to I'm Not That Girl in the middle of a bigger reference to For Good, which is the song about Galinda and Elphaba's entire relationship. You tell me what that means. But effectively, I think it also changes like the meaning of I'm Not That Girl as its own song, because overtly it's supposed to be about Elphaba singing about how she can't be with Fiyero because she's not that girl. But it kind of could also read now that she's not that girl because she can't be with Galinda. And this is an example of how just like little tiny things from the music of a movie become really important and can change the meaning of like a character's feeling or a meaning of a monologue. So if we think of I'm Not That Girl as like a type of monologue, but it's just sung instead of spoken, then the meaning of the entire song or of the entire monologue actually changes because of where it's referenced later on. And that's a really cool thing about music. And I love that that like one spot is different in the film like production of it versus the stage production of it. Like such a cool difference.